Let's get started. A while back, I wrote a blog article, if you haven't seen it yet, on the site called "Do Your Coconut Trees Need Trimming?" And it was kind of a tongue-in-cheek way of making the point with a brief analogy or story. I do have 15 coconut trees in my yard that look very much like this one. In fact, this is one right here, and they have big, huge coconuts in each one, and about once or twice a year they need trimming. What I found in trimming the coconut trees is that when you stand right at the base of the tree and look straight up, this is the picture you see. And given this picture, I'm not sure I know which palm frond on the tree to cut. So typically what you do is you take a breath and you step back away from the tree, like this picture on the left here, and you can see very clearly there's probably 3 or 4 on the bottom, or 5 limbs that need to be cut. And what that reminded me of is that even in business, sometimes we need to step back away from the day-to-day situation and get an assessment overall of the tree in this case, and determine, let's go cut the bottom 4, for example. And by doing that, now you've got confidence to be able to step right up to that tree, cut the 4, and move on to the next tree. Most entrepreneurs I know don't necessarily take the time or feel like they have the time to be able to step back from their business, take a deep breath, fully assess what's going on, and then lay out a plan, for example, cutting 4 palm fronds, that allows them to move forward with confidence and get things done. The ScalePassion Retreat is designed to allow for that breath, even if it's only 2 days every 6 months, to be able to step back, get back in alignment with who you are and what you're trying to do with your company, get all your key stakeholders on the same page, and then be able to move forward with confidence and excellence in terms of execution. I can tell you that when I've done this with all the companies that I've led, it's been a very powerful motivator. Everybody leaves the retreat feeling very energized because they've had the discussion that gets everybody on the same page. So let's jump in. I believe most passion entrepreneurs, especially the ones that are heads down running their business, really need to take the time to recognize the importance of planning. Now, this isn't planning for planning's sake. In fact, the ScalePassion method that we'll talk about is really geared towards really effectively planning and driving the planning process into everything you do each and every day, so that it becomes ingrained in the culture and it's not just a one-time or a 2-time event per year. And it's meant to be simple, keep everybody focused and on track, and really get everybody coordinated. So the benefits of recognizing the need for planning is the power of a clear vision. Many of the entrepreneurs that I meet, especially very passionate entrepreneurs, have a real clear vision of where they want to take things in their head, and that's very powerful. What tends to happen, though, is that the people around them may not have the same vision. There may be a disconnect, and by getting everybody in alignment on the vision, it becomes very, very important. Also, what this methodology or planning is meant to do is to provide a roadmap. And so, for example, we've got a 3-year vision that we'll talk about, and if you break that down into six-month chunks, it can be very, very powerful, and that's what we call the roadmap. And then alignment, being able to connect the dots across your company. Some of the best feedback I've received from people that have been through this methodology is that it allows for them to say no. And by saying no to other major projects or initiatives, they were able to make sure that all the resources, the people, the time, the money that they've got available to the entrepreneur to run the business is in alignment, and that they can connect those dots, which can be very, very powerful. Now, the retreat follows the ScalePassion method, and I'll point you to the website. There's a page on the website around an introduction to the ScalePassion method, and also a video that talks about the methodology in more detail. But just as an overview and to really reinforce how the retreat works, let me take you through the 5 steps of the method. Number 1, know thy market. It's very important that we understand our customers, our marketplace that we're in, including the competition, and also key trends. For example, this economic crisis that has hit this past 4th quarter really disrupted a lot of strategies, from the biggest companies to the smallest. So being able to step back and understand what that marketplace trend is doing to our business is very important. So number 1 is know thy market. Number 2 is know thyself. And this isn't necessarily related to the corporation's mission, for example. This is really about the key stakeholders in the business. And in this graphic, we call that the internal assessment. It's really about understanding who the key stakeholders are and how they align, and making sure that there's alignment across the key stakeholders with the entrepreneur and the vision overall. Also understanding what you're strong at, whether it's supply chain or marketing or product development, and where you might have some weaknesses, whether it be with people, processes, technology, or just in general. Really understanding and having a clear view of that insider alignment, and also the internal assessment of your various functions, marketing, supply chain, can go a long way towards helping you make good decisions when it comes to strategy. Number 3 is know thy purpose, and that's where things like mission, vision, value proposition, that's where all those things come in. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But what's unique about the ScalePassion method is that know thy purpose, mission, vision comes third. A lot of strategic planning processes start with what is our mission, or what do we do as a company. I'm a big believer, Launch Natural is a big believer in the fact that you have to clearly identify the marketplace, your customer, what makes you unique, your strengths and weaknesses before you entertain the conversation around mission and vision. 4th is about execution. So once you know where you're going and what and who you are as a company, then it's all about executing. And the ScalePassion Retreat really keys in on these 4 points: the marketplace, knowing thyself, really crafting a vivid description of the vision and mission, and then let's get into execution. And then lastly, we have the rinse and repeat. There's a whole methodology behind ScalePassion around how to bake this into your culture: communication planning, meetings, a rhythm of business. How do you drive your meetings and really drive a rhythm into your business? So that can also be addressed in the ScalePassion Retreat. Moving forward, the 2-day retreat is designed to deliver needed tools for growing companies. These tools include a marketplace profile, really getting one sheet of paper even that says, here's our customer, and here's our market, and here's our competition, and here are the trends that affect us. Making sure that everybody's on the same page on that is extremely powerful. The marketplace profiles and some of the other things we're going to talk about serve as filters for day-to-day decision making. So making sure everybody buys into those filters is extremely important. A 3-year vivid description of your vision is important. Someone used the analogy that if you don't know that the barn is red, the barn that we want to build in 3 years is red, and there's going to be a blue silo beside it, and it stands 50 feet tall, you'll never be able to hit the barn. Taking the time to really develop the blueprint for where you want your company to be in 3 years is probably one of the most powerful things that a young company can do, and it's also something that most companies feel like they don't have the time to do, and I think that that's a real tragedy. A clear, concise mission statement really states who we are and why are we doing what we're doing. Here's what we do, and here's why we're doing it, and that's really important when it comes to developing the right kind of mission. And then lastly, a 6-month action plan. Boiling all of that down in that roadmap into here's what we need to go accomplish in the next 6 months is clearly the most powerful deliverable coming out of the ScalePassion Retreat.